He was verbally assaulted by his teacher. When he asked to change his seats, the teacher responded with the words saying, "I do not bargain with terrorists." We're here today to express our communal concerns about this incident, to express the demands from Central Dauphin School District, and to make sure that this multi-religious, multi-background community members over here and community leaders from different backgrounds are able to voice their opinions. After this, we'll move into the middle school building to attend the school board meeting. I'm going to first invite Adam Rahman, who is the father of the student who experienced the harm. So Adam?
Yeah, so on that day, my son was verbally assaulted by a teacher. He simply asked to move his seat, and she's just said, "I don't bargain with terrorists." And when that happened, some kids in the class asked, "What is that?" So to add salt to the wound, she told them to look it up. And then the kids, on top of it, after looking it up, realized, wow, she's basically roasting you. This is how some of the kids were saying. And it was just a horrible, horrible, horrible time. My son was, when I asked him, how he felt like the room was spinning, and he was the only one, and there was nobody to help him, because these teachers are supposed to be the mentors, the people who you look up to, and if that fails, there's no help for the kid, because the other kids are just going to laugh it off and think this is acceptable because the teacher said that. So this is a horrible incident, which no child from any background faces. And I just want the school to be responsible for looking into vetting some of these teachers that are teaching and being serious about this. And this is only one of many incidences that happened to our family, but I'm just going to say this was the tipping point. This took the cake. It's horrible. So this is why we're here, unfortunately. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Adam. And I want to emphasize that we are here today because of the Rahman family's strong stance and immediate steps, talking to the district, to the building principal, as well as reaching out to Care Philadelphia, to Harrisburg Palestine Coalition, that we are here, and I believe there will be some new developments that we will be witnessing during the school board meeting. This dehumanization broadly of Muslim Americans, Arab Americans, Palestinian, Lebanese Americans, this is one sort of showcase example of this. With that, I want to invite Hadil Salama and Bonnie Caro from Harrisburg Palestine Coalition, who are co-partners in this press conference. Hadil and Bonnie.
So this deeply embedded racism and racial profiling that occurred comes largely in part to the lack of education on Palestine in the school systems. And so in order to fully represent a diverse community and a diverse student body, there needs to be representation of the backgrounds of Palestine, Lebanon, the illegal apartheid Israeli occupation of over 76 years. The Nakba is not taught in the schools, and all of this is crucial to be embedded into the school system's curriculum, because in order to represent the students and to hold teachers accountable so that they don't say this kind of loose, derogatory misinformation and war propaganda that they hear on the media, there needs to be some education both for the faculty and the students at Central Dauphin and Central Pennsylvania at large. So we firmly believe that in order to take steps forward and to counter future racism and discrimination, there needs to be a change in the policy. There needs to be a curriculum change. And this curriculum must incorporate and include the Nakba of 1948, in which 750,000 Palestinians were displaced from their homes. The illegal apartheid occupation, the 76-year-long occupation, and the ongoing genocide of Palestine that is occurring right now in Gaza. Bonnie is going to talk a little bit about how we already came to Central Dauphin months ago and tried to give them this curriculum, which meets Pennsylvania state standards and fits the Central Dauphin core values and belief systems. And Bonnie, you can talk more about that.
Thank you, Hadil. We have attempted to introduce this curriculum to district officials with Central Dauphin, both through email, talking at board meetings, and then culminating in an official meeting where we sought feedback on how we can best tailor this curriculum to fit into Central Dauphin's current curricular offerings. This was then met with a blatant disregard for our attempts, both from parents of the district, alum, and residents of Central Dauphin. This culminated in unanswered emails and a blatant disregard for our request to have this implemented into the curriculum. I hope now, through this awful event that has transpired at the expense of a 7th grader in the school district, that now district officials and administration can understand the importance of incorporating this important information into the curriculum.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is one of our local Pennsylvania Palestinian leaders who's been active statewide, Omar Musa.
First of all, thank you all for being here today. I stand before you as an advocate, as Brother Ahmed said, but also a longtime Harrisburg resident, an alumni 1st through 12 at Susquehanna Township, and a Palestinian, a Muslim, and just like everybody here, a human who's deeply committed to ensuring that every child in our schools feels safe, valued, and respected. But we're also here today because a grave injustice has taken place. A student, a child of ours, has faced discrimination at the hands of an educator. The very same people who are entrusted to nurture, educate, and protect our children, who have the responsibility to uphold the highest standards of respect and inclusion, and foster spaces of learning and safety, in this case, have demonstrated the damage and harm that can be inflicted when bigotry and hatred goes unchecked. Discrimination has no place in our schools. This is not just about this one incident. It's about the precedent that we set for every student walking through those doors and every parent sending them there. Will they enter an environment that is nurturing and safe, or one that is destructive and harmful? These are the thoughts that should be furthest from these parents' mind when they're sending their children to school. And that is why, in this moment, it is crucial that we demand accountability and transparency in addressing this particular issue. Our goals are simple: to ensure a full and fair investigation into what occurred, to guarantee that appropriate actions are taken to hold accountable and to prevent anything like this from happening again, and to make certain that a comprehensive cultural sensitivity and anti-bias curriculum and training is required for all staff and those who care for our children. No child should ever have to question their worth or feel unsafe in an environment meant to foster their growth, especially at the hands of those who are meant to nurture that very same environment. Today, we speak for the students that was harmed, for the families who share that pain, and for the community that refuses to accept anything less than equity and justice. This isn't just a stand for one student. This is a stand for all students. And together, as those who are collectively here to create those conditions, we have the responsibility to ensure our schools reflect the values of dignity, respect, and the opportunity that every child deserves. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar, for this clear and powerful remarks, right? So every school district has the responsibility to create a safe and welcoming environment for its community members, for students, for families. And here, CD School District failed, and we expect these steps to be followed. Our next speaker is a current member of CD School District, a 12th grade CD student, Nadia Lakmana, who is also the Student Council President here. Nadia?
Hi. As a student that has gone through Central Dauphin School District, it's extremely disheartening to see a situation like this occur. It should have never occurred in the first place. A classroom setting is a space for students to learn and feel safe and succeed and flourish. It is not a space for children to feel targeted and outcasted, especially by an educator. As young as 13 years old, this is not something that a child should be experiencing in their school. As part of the Muslim community, I'm genuinely concerned for the students of certain cultural backgrounds moving forward. We need to hold our educators to a higher standard. It's not about the details of the situation or the temperament. This situation should have been de-escalated quickly. It should have never gone this far. When we allow ourselves to let situations like this happen, this leads to more hatred and more horrible things to occur like this. There should never be situations like this in the first place, and that's why we need to push for change and push for our teachers and educators to have better training and better backgrounds. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nadia, for these wonderful remarks, speaking from within the school district and from your experience. Our next speaker is a civic leader, a policy expert, Jude Hussein, who is the Chief of State Advocacy and Strategic Initiatives at the Pennsylvania State Senate. Jude?
I take a deep breath because I think about all of the experiences that this child is going to have to face moving onwards. Because it doesn't just stop at this one example for this young person. This will go on if the school district doesn't take a firm stance. I do not bargain with terrorists, said an educator to a 7th grader. I don't know any other words to say then how can you do that as an educator? And why has it taken so long for the school district to say, hey, we should not treat any child like this? Why has it taken so long? Regardless of race or religion, but in this case it's very clear that this is a brown young person, let that be very known. No young person should experience this. And we should not tolerate this from our educators, because that is not a true educator. We tell our young people, go out and face the world and be resilient. This is where they're learning how to be resilient, but not in this harmful manner. We need to hug our young people. We need to teach them that this is the one place, if any place, that they can go and be safe, and be creative, and be innovative, and learn, and have fun, and laugh, and smile. But on that day, that young person was told by their educator, I do not bargain with terrorists, to a 7th grader. All we're asking is to be fair and to be just. We are not asking for special treatment. We are not asking to skip the line. We are asking to be treated equally. That's all. Issue an investigation. Condemn this behavior, not just for this young person, but for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jude. And as Jude has highlighted, one way of being treated equally and fairly in this situation would have been for the district to reach out directly and immediately to its community, to its students, to its parents, and say this incident took place and it's unacceptable. The district came out with a statement, a good statement, but days later, and only to a TV station, to a news station, we would have expected differently. Now I'm going to invite Reverend Wayne Bender from United Grace Methodist Church. He's the pastor of the church. Reverend.
First off, my apologies to you and to your family for the harm done to your son and to those boys who were present and heard that same kind of behavior. I also am a grandfather to a Palestinian little girl 2 years of age. She is also the great-great-granddaughter of the last mayor of Palestine, or the last mayor, Palestinian mayor of Jerusalem. Her name is Naya Husseini Bender. My son and his mother met in part because we moved to Harrisburg from rural Pennsylvania, where we had an opportunity to move to a school district that embraced its diversity and its acceptance of one another. And our son grew up in a school where he learned to accept people who were different. I had the opportunity to travel in the Gaza Strip, as well as 3 times into the West Bank, and to meet the people there and the young people. And I've met educators there who are deeply committed to the education of their children, for education is the way to end the resolutions and to be able to accept and to learn about each other. I come from a faith tradition that believes in the respect of all people, of faith and trust in one another, and the dignity of every person. What is the golden rule but to do unto others as you would want them to do unto you? That's what I want this school district to do to this family and to the students of the school, to be able to say we did something wrong, lead by example, and to say we do not accept bullying of any kind. They have a zero tolerance policy on bullying. This was bullying, name-calling of this child who is completely innocent of being a terrorist. He simply wanted to learn. Has anyone asked why he wanted to move his chair? Maybe it was too cold. Many reasons why he wanted to move. But no one took the time to listen. They just labeled. And I think that's what we all need to do, is learn to listen to one another, care about each other, and respect with dignity that we are all of human worth and value. That's my tradition. That's my hope for this community, that you can heal from this experience, but still to be a lead by example. Lead by example as a school board, lead as an example as a school administrator, and say, we made a mistake. We need to correct it, and this is what we're going to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Bender, for your insightful words and your reminders. God bless you. Our final speaker before a brief question session is Ton Cook. Brother Ton is with Push and Michael's Memory. He's also a mayoral candidate for the local mayoral race in Harrisburg.
Once again, we gather here to address another painful incident rooted in racial profiling, discrimination, and the targeting of a child because of their ethnicity or religious background. Not long ago, a young black male student, Justin Johnson, was chased and harassed by his peers in Central Dauphin with taunts like, "Go back to Africa. Go back to where you came from." Tragically, this pursuit led to his death, and may he rest in peace. Now we face another disturbing incident in the same district, where it has been reported that a teacher made a derogatory comment to a Muslim Palestinian American student saying, "I do not negotiate with terrorists." And as you know, the brother said, how do you think this child feels? Do you imagine, do you think about what he had to endure from his other classmates or other even teachers? And this is just sad. This is not just a mistake. It's an act of hate and toxic culture, and something we must confront and address with urgency. The loss of Justin Johnson and the harm caused to this young student, it reminds us that we have a long way to go. A long way to go if this continues to happen in our schools, where our children should be protected. This school, city, state, and world should be a place where every individual can live with dignity, respect, and feel safe. May we all continue to protect children of every race, every religion, and background wherever they reside. I ask that we do not let up on this situation, as well as many other situations that took place before this. And I ask that we do not fall asleep when things get quiet. And I ask that we stand together in the effort to save our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Tom. The question that faces all of us now, and we are curious about, is what will CD School District do? How will CD School District try to regain the trust of this community? What steps will be taken? And we will continue to talk to them about these. We'll make sure that our organizations, that individuals, that our community, broader community, will show up for the well-being and a safe environment for every child in any of the schools in this area. So as we conclude, we are going to take a few questions because we also want to go inside, as you all are called, and there's a school board meeting that are awaiting us. There's a different set of speakers, including the brother of the harmed student who will be speaking inside during the school board meeting. But if there are questions, myself, some of our colleagues will try to answer them.
How's your son doing now?
My son is he's okay. He asks a lot of questions. He's trying to understand the world and the politics of this world, and so I'll just giving him good positive feedback to just be strong, just ignore the people who say bad things to you, but embrace the people who are good with you. And I'm glad that there's quite a bit of people that gave him some support and good kind words, and especially parents of the students, especially the parents of the students that were there to witness, the students that were witnessing it. So we got a good feedback from them and support. So that's what I basically gave them.
What was it like when your son came home that afternoon? What was
Horrible.
the conversation?
Yeah. So basically, we basically just told them just don't worry about it. Just be strong. There's a lot of good people out there. Don't worry. It's not like that. Teachers are not like that. This is unusual. So he basically was tired, just wanted to sleep, and just kind of avoided everything for that day. But we talked to him a little more. He gained some, encouragement to go back to school, to be strong, and he's okay. He's doing okay. But these things will always resonate in his head, and wonder if the next teacher will say the same thing. Of course.
Have you guys been in contact with the teacher?
No, not at all. No. The same exact day, in fact, the principal, he had her in another location inside the school, kind of reprimanded her, and basically was just asking for the story. And there is no investigation with this. It's evident. She admitted it when my wife confronted her, and we had witnesses. The students were there. So, and she admitted to other teachers as well that she said it. The problem is, if you have an opinion and you're racist, just keep it to yourself. But to embellish on it and to loosely say it in front of the class, there's a major problem. That the school, how can the school allow, not like vet or any, look into these people that they're hiring? So that's the thing that I'm concerned with. Who's the next child that's going to be a victim like this? I hope this never happens. So.
You all had mentioned before that there were some previous similar situations that even your son has experienced before here at Central Dauphin School District. Can you explain a little bit more in detail what those situations were and how they were handled at the time.
Yeah, so there was many situations, a lot of red flags, and we presented them to the principal. In fact, we had a situation with another teacher the year prior, and kind of labeling, name calling our ethnic background as the bad guys. So when we confronted this, it was like, you know, I was almost there at the tipping point with what was going on, and this was like the 7th or 8th incidents throughout all my kids. I have 4 children that went to the same school district. So one thing is what the students say, but then when teachers say it, that's when I have to go to the school and confront this. But it was like kind of like brushed under the rug, and you know, it was hot at the moment, but then it faded and nothing was done. I told the principal, something needs to change in the school district. The policies, more education on geopolitics of the world, just to learn more about different backgrounds, especially in the Middle East, because that's the hot point right now. That's where all the politics is swaying this country, unfortunately. But if you go visit the Middle East, you'll be welcome to anybody's house for dinner, and you'll feel safe. But when you hear it on TV, when they name them terrorists or call them names, this resonates in their heads, especially here who are, you know, sheltered from the outside world, and will just act upon what they hear in the media.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you guys wouldn't mind, could we get you guys all to go through one more time and say and spell your names for us so we can make sure you get it right, and any relevant. You can send it.
Thank you.
And then any relevant titles as well would be great.
Thank you.
I think
I'm good too. Thank you.
I think we're good. Thank you. Very comprehensive. You know,